Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of the Social Distance Show, the show that I thought, I hoped, I prayed was only going to be a couple episodes, and now we are in our third week, um, which is insane, but it looks like it's going to go at least another month now, and it's crazy out there. So hopefully we have some guests on that can give you some insight to some good stuff, and some guests that are on to just entertain. And tonight I am so thrilled to be joined by one of the nicest people that I've met. He has such a good heart. I met him a long time ago when he was the executive director of the course of Westerly. He now works in the same or similar capacity for the Johnnycake Center of Westerly. A very fine human being who you guys, if you don't know, you're going to love. Lee Eastbourne. Lee, welcome to the show. How are you?
Good evening, Ben. I'm very well, thank you. How about yourself?
I'm doing good.
Good to hear.
So you were introduced to me when you were in charge of the course of Westerly. How long ago was that?
Yeah, I worked at the Chorus of Westerly from 2007 to 2014, and I was their operations and marketing manager for those whole 7 years. I worked alongside Ryan Saunders, that I know you've had on the show for a good number of years, and it was a wonderful experience to be working there.
And so how long have you been at the Johnnycake Center now?
I have been there since the fall of 2014, so coming up on 6 years now. I started off, funnily enough, as a member of our board of directors, and then a position opened up in the development office as the director of development at the centre. So I applied for that, and I was very lucky to be appointed. So I held that position for just a little under 2 years. And then our previous executive director, Liz Pasqualini, moved on to go back to school to get her master's in public administration from Brown University. So that executive director position opened up in the summer of 2017. Again, I applied for that position, and I was very fortunate enough to be appointed to that just about 3 years ago now.
Um, well, they're in great hands
Thank you.
with you. You're welcome. What does that entail, uh, being the head of such a well-known organization that does so much good for the community?
Um,
I
a
assume
lot
there's a
of
lot of
hours.
moving parts. Yeah.
There is. So we have four main arms to our organisation. Most people will know us for either the on-site thrift store or the food pantry, but we do have a fully operational social services office, and we have an education arm through the Westerly Real Jobs regional Real Jobs partnership that provides educational opportunities to individuals in need. So my role at the centre really is oversight of all four of those particular arms of the organisation. Administration, budgeting, all the fun stuff.
How much of the budget for the Johnnycake Center and for the outreach and the stuff that you do in the community, how much of that comes through money made in the thrift store?
So a very brief overrun of our operating year. We are currently operating at about $1.5 million total for the whole centre, and just about $800,000 of that is through the thrift store. So as you can see, a significant amount of money is brought in through the centre, through the thrift store. That really helps us with all of our overhead, our operating costs, our payroll. But one thing to know, two things to know about the thrift store. One is that it is open to the public. Sometimes there is a little misconception that it is only open to the clients of the centre, which is certainly not the case. And secondly, that every single cent that we make over our expenses in the thrift store go right back into the organisation, into our social service programs and our food assistance programs to support those too.
Uh, it's a wonderful business model, because the thrift store is helping people that then the revenue from the thrift store, and then the revenue from the thrift store also helps people, you know?
Yes.
So not only are you able to get amazing deals on clothes and furniture and household items and books, and anything really in the
Yeah,
thrift store.
everything.
Yeah. But then the money made from that goes to help others in the community, or possibly the same people, which is a fascinating. It's like a circle, it just keeps generating itself, which is very nice. How does the other almost half, a little under half of the operating budget, how is that made?
So that the remaining $700,000 or so is actually all through the development office, which I was in charge of for just about 2 years. So that's a combination of grant writing. So about $430 to $450,000 or so is through grants that we apply for to both private foundations, corporations, things along those lines. About $150 to $175,000 or so is through what we consider individual giving. So an individual will maybe write a check to one of our appeals, or maybe have an extra couple of dollars at the end of one month and drop a check in the mail to us. And if my maths is right there, about $75,000 or so is through annual fundraising events. So we try and do about one fundraising event every single one event per month, and that's about $75,000 or so. So that makes up the whole 700.
Um, I saw that somebody, I'll just put the comment up because I fixed it. Baby said that, corrected me on the spelling of Johnnycake Center, and I am very sorry about that.
No problem.
Um,
That's probably the biggest misconception, or the biggest mistake, is the spelling of Johnnycake. But we try and correct where we can, but no worries at all.
do you
So
know where, and what's, you know what, I'm looking at a Facebook tab that's above it, but I realize now that I searched it for the spelling of it because I was worrying about the capitals, if it was a space and a capital C. Yeah,
yeah, people struggle with Johnnycake. The H is one, capital J, capital C is another. Whether
yeah.
it's two words or one word is probably the third most common misconception. But if people find us, however they find us, we absolutely have no problem with that.
Um, so obviously you have not been there since the beginning. This is an establishment that's been long in existence.
Mhm.
Um, do you know where the name comes from, or the history of the Johnny Cake Center?
I do, I do. So it's kind of a really cool one, actually. So back in the olden times, when people were traveling the country, when really the country was founded, and people were looking for opportunity in different parts of the country, they would make what are called journey cakes, which are kind of small, kind of rice cakes, if you will. And the reason they made them, and they call them journey cakes, is they were very non-perishable. They traveled very, very well. So we just adapted that a little bit 45 years ago when we were founded, and that's where the name the Johnnycake Center of Westerly comes from.
I love it. So this is this is a very challenging time, obviously, for everybody in the community and everybody in the nation, and most of the people in the world. Sort of an unprecedented moment in history,
Mhm.
um, or at least modern history. And so, an organization that is used to running to help people in need, now not only do you have a lot of restrictions for how you can and cannot operate, as far as the thrift store obviously can't be open right now, and all of that stuff. But then you also have to help the people that are in need, and now there's even more people in need. So what is available to people, and how are you guys dealing with those challenges and the demands?
Yeah, so challenges first. Obviously, the thrift store being closed is a real financial challenge for us. 800,000. We have busier months and quieter months, but at the moment, generally in March and April time, we would be bringing in about $16,000 to $17,000 of revenue per week through the thrift store. So even just the 2 weeks we've been closed, we've lost close to $35,000 in revenue. So as every organization, every business that is out there is seeing, we are certainly seeing the center being hit financially. But yes, as you say, on the other side of things, that there's many people being laid off, there's many people being furloughed. So we expect within the next very few days for need to spike significantly. furloughs are starting to take effect. The 2-week time from when a person is potentially furloughed is coming up very quickly. And then individuals are starting to worry about, how can I pay my bills? How can I put food on the table for my family? So as an organization, we continue to operate our social service department on a daily basis, 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. And similarly, our food pantry is also operating 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. So we have a commitment to stay open, to help those individuals in need, unless we are mandated otherwise. But we are considered an essential organization, an essential business, as you will, like food banks and grocery stores. So we don't expect to be mandated to be closed at all, or those two parts of our organization. So we will do everything we possibly can to stay open for all the way through this pandemic.
How do you? Obviously, you can't, or it would be very difficult to replace the income from the lost income and the lost revenue from the thrift store. But with the increased need to give and to be able to meet those needs, you need to find some sort of a replacement for that income. I would assume.
Correct.
So what is there any is there anything that you need the general public that might be watching this to help with?
Yes, so there's a couple of things that we've been working hard on very, very, day in, day out for the organization. One of the big ones is we're applying for a number of COVID-19 relief assistance grants. At the state level, the Rhode Island Foundation and the United Way have a phenomenal program in place to help nonprofits on the front lines with particular grants. So we have applied to that particular organization for a grant of $75,000, and we're very hopeful that will come through. We'll keep our fingers crossed on that. On top of that, the community in general have been wonderful with their donations. We sent some information out to our database, our email database, about 2 weeks ago now. And that has really generated some very much appreciated funds on the sides of individuals making a donation to us online. So really, financial gifts are certainly the best help for us at this point. Even on the food pantry side, we have a wonderful relationship with the Rhode Island Community Food Bank, which allows us to buy a volume of food at a very, very low price, approximately 10 cents per pound. So even a $10 donation can buy 1,000 pounds of food, which really helps us to support those families that are in need. So definitely financial donations are very much appreciated at this point in time.
That's incredible that a $10 donation can buy 1,000 pounds of food. I had no idea that it was that sort of margin for how much a donation could give. Where can people make those financial donations? If somebody's watching this right now and they want to give $10,
Sure.
or whatever they're able to, how do they do that?
The very best place is to go to our website, which is johnnycake.org, which is JONNYCAKE.org. And you'll see the navigation pane across the top, the navigation banner there. And kind of across to the right-hand side, you'll see a tab that says donate. And right there, we can take a donation from you. It is processed through PayPal. However, you do not need to have a PayPal account. You can make a donation with a credit or debit card.
And does that go for any because there are multiple Johnnycake centers, right?
There are two at this point. There is the Johnnycake Centre in Westerly, which was previously in Bradford, and the Johnnycake Centre in Peacedale, who do very much the same work we do as an organisation, but we are two very separate organisations, separate boards of directors, separate management structures.
Okay.
And just one thing to note, sorry to interrupt there, Ben.
Go ahead.
When you do click on the donate tab, you can actually select where you would like your donation to go, whether it to be to the children's food program, to the regular food assistance program, to general operating. I think there's 4 or 5 different options for you to give.
Awesome. Very nice. So you would say that financial donations would obviously be the recommended. Um, is there do you guys take food donations? I know that you would generally take donations for the thrift store, but I would assume because of the different needs and whatnot for regulations. Do you guys take food donations? What's the deal with that?
We do. Generally, most of the food donations we take from the public are non-perishable, so shelf-stable items, soups and pastas, things along those lines. At this point, really, just out of an abundance of caution, we have halted our donations from the public at this point on the food assistance side of things, on the food side of things. We've also had a couple of donations from a couple of restaurants here in town that have unfortunately had to kind of close down for a little bit of time. Some of their perishable items have been donated. I'm sure he will appreciate me giving him a shout out, but Andrew, Nathan, and Jennifer Gibson at the Cooked Goose have been phenomenal to us throughout this, this pandemic. They reached out to us right away. Unfortunately, they have had to close for a little bit of time, but they didn't want the food that they had to go to waste, and reached out to us. So my huge thanks to those folks, especially Andrew and Jennifer at the Cooked Goose and the Sea Goose.
Is there anything else that the public can do to help other than the financial donations, or is that really what you guys need the most right now?
That's definitely the best thing at the moment. We are starting to think about other potential options. We were very close to discussing reopening the thrift store based on, I believe it was the governor's March 28th executive order about the amount of people that you are permitted in a store. However, the Saturday executive order that came out kind of really nixed that. So as you can imagine, for everybody, ourselves included, things are changing on an almost hourly basis. We can leave the office at 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock, whatever it may be, with a fairly, what we think maybe a fairly decent plan in place, and that can change by the time you get home. So we're not a reactionary organization. We try and plan ahead as much as we possibly can, but the way things are going at the moment, we do have to make changes on the fly, and we're doing everything we can to make that happen.
Well, thank you very much. Is there anything that you want to leave people with? Oh, hey, I don't know if you froze to other people. Your picture froze to me for a
I
second.
did. I was frozen for a few minutes, but I noticed I'm back, so all
Yes.
good news.
So I put up, because I noticed you were frozen for a second, but there was a lot of good information. I just put your name back up just in case. But now I'm going to put donate@johnnycake.org
Wonderful.
back up. So, is there anything that you want to leave people with?
Yeah, really just kind of, if you do have a little bit of time, consider what our organizations, and I say our organizations because it's not just the Johnnycake Centre. We are chatting on a weekly and daily basis with other wonderful nonprofits, just to name a few. Obviously, Russ and his team at the Warm Centre, Susan and her team at the Pawcatuck Neighbourhood Centre, Amy Grabowski at Emergency Management has been phenomenal. The school department, Wood River Health Services, and Alison and her team there, Kate Brewster at the Johnnycake Centre in Peacedale. We're all working together as non-profit social service organisations, serving these families that are in need. A big thing I should also mention is there's a lot of children out there that are no longer at school, obviously, that rely on free and reduced lunches to get them through the day. And obviously they're not receiving them. So we have a couple of specific child-centered, should I say, food assistance programs. We are also an additional emergency site for the Westerly Public Schools bagged lunch program. That is happening at the centre, which is at 23 Industrial Drive here in Westerly, every weekday from 12 to 1. And as I said, the social service office and our food assistance programs and food pantry are open 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. So, please consider what we're doing as organisations to help those in need get through this. And thank you for having me on.
You're welcome. As far as people in need that need to contact the Johnnycake Center for help, what is the best way for them to? Is it for the social services, for example? Is it better to Like, are you still asking people to show up in person, or?
We are almost on a lockdown. We're not actually having clients in the building at this particular point. So the best way to speak to somebody in social services would be to call, and our number is 401-377-8069, and the social service office, I believe, is I'm pretty certain is option 1, and that will bring you through to a live voice there. If anyone is in need of food assistance, please come to the centre. We have directions at the centre that will just direct you to the back of the building to our food pantry, and we will make it happen for you. We know what's going on. We know there's people out there in need. We are seeing our regular clients come through, and we're also seeing new clients as well. So we're there to help the community.
Could you just give that phone number one more time?
Yeah, absolutely. 401-377-8069 is the main line, and there's a menu there that will take you through, and option 1 is social services and training programs.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I just wanted to
Pleasure.
make sure that that was on the screen for people to take it and write it down if they needed it, basically. So donate at johnnycake.org if you can. And what Lee said earlier was really astounding, that a $10 donation could buy 1,000 pounds worth of food from the Rhode Island Food Bank. So thank you, Lee, for everything that you guys are doing currently for the community. Thank you for everything that you always do for the community, because the Johnnycake Center is one of the greatest organizations in the area, and it has been for a really long time, and it's in good hands now with you and the leadership team there. And I know that you guys will really be part of the driving force that helps Westerly get through this, the Westerly Pawcatuck area get through it, honestly,
Sure.
and all of South County. So thank you very, very much, and good luck. And if there's anything I can do for you guys, let me know.
Sure,
And
Ben. Just before I let you go, can I give one more shout out? Just
please.
I am not in this on my own. We have an absolutely incredible staff, an incredible set of volunteers that are at the building. We are running a skeleton staff and very limited volunteers at this time, but they are pulling all the hours God sends to make this happen. We have staff that are working from home for the safety of everybody, but everyone is pulling together at the centre to really make this happen for families in need. And my heartfelt appreciation to our staff and volunteers, not just now, but year round.
They're clearly a wonderful group of people.
They are.
And you all do a lot of wonderful, good work. And it's great work, but I mean, it's good. You're
Thank you.
doing good. And we're all very appreciative of that. Also, before I let you go, I just want to remind you, when things get back open and running and we can all go outside again, I still want to make you guys a video.
Yes, we've been talking about this for a while. Yeah, so definitely.
So let's bookmark this so that it's however many people end up seeing this can see it. There will be a professional video made for the Johnnycake Center this year at some point when we're able to go outside again.
Yeah,
so
when we're allowed back out, please visit us at the center. As Ben mentioned right at the top of the show, it really is a hidden treasure here in Westerly. The thrift store is a fantastic option for gently used items. We have a number of new items, and the vast majority of our items are $3 and $4 and below. Everything is donated to the center by the community. We don't purchase anything, and as I mentioned, everything goes back into the community that's over our expenses. So please consider coming and seeing us and helping us get back on our feet.
Thank you so much, Lee. Have a good one.
Thank you, Ben.
And stay safe.
You too. Chat soon.
Bye. He is an amazing guy. I love Lee. He's awesome, and just the entire crew down at the Johnnycake Center. They're all wonderful. The Johnnycake Center has been just such an important part of Westerly, and it's an even more important part right now with so many people that are going to be needing their help. So if you do need their help, that is the phone number 401-377-8069, option 1. If you need assistance, and if you can donate. That was astounding what he said. That they're able to buy for 10 cents a pound from the food bank. So a $10 donation could buy 1,000 pounds of food. That's going to do a lot of good for people in need. And there's so many people in need right now. Restaurant workers, bartenders, any retail workers, musicians, artists. So many people right now are not working because of this virus, and so many people need help. And then the support of the community has always been wonderful here in Westerly, and I know that it will be now. So if you can donate at johnnycake.org. And if you do need assistance, I'm going to put that number up one more time while I wrap the show up. Tonight at 8 o'clock, Ask Caswell is on with Miles Zuniga from the band Fastball. I love Fastball. I'm very excited about this. If you are unaware by the name, you definitely know the songs. Their songs include You're an Ocean, The Way, Out of My Head. Just a wonderful group of a wonderful band, and I talked to Miles a little bit earlier. Very nice guy. So I can't wait to have them on. And there's a whole lineup. You can follow us at Westerly Live and see all of this stuff. The Social Distance Show tomorrow. The Social Distance Show will still be on. My guest will be Keith Cowley, who is the owner operator of the Living Sharks Museum. I'm not sure if that will be on at 7 or not tomorrow, but I'm excited about that. He is a wonderful man. You can see him at Perks and Corks. He's a great graphic designer. He runs the New England Songwriter Invitational. Speaking of that, Perks and Corks open mic night is also tonight. So tonight, after this, we have a half-hour break, and then we have Ask Caswell at 8 o'clock with Miles Zuniga from Fastball. And then we have 9 to 11 Perks open mic night. If you are a musician, contact the Perks and Corks page if you want to get in on this. You will be on this platform just like this. Comments will come up. If you're a musician and you want to play a couple songs for the public, if you want to be a part of the Perks and Corks open mic night experience, the Perks and Corks music experience, the way that it always has been for years in Westerly, do that. Send a message to the Perks and Corks page. Gene will get back to you, or send it straight to Cosmic Riffs if you want to do that, and we'll put you on this platform. If you have a Venmo, if you have a PayPal, leave it in the comment, and I will put it up just like I'm putting up this comment right now, so that people can do that and send you tips. So check out Perks and Corks open mic night tonight. At least it's going to be simulcast on the Perks and Corks page and Westerly Live. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Check it out. And check out Ask Caswell at 8 o'clock. And most importantly, if you need assistance, Johnnycake, 401-377-8069, option 1. And if you can, $1 goes a long way. $10 goes a really long way. If you can do more than that, think about how important that is. That's so awesome. Lee Eastbourne, an amazing guest, executive director of the Johnnycake Center. Thank you guys so much. This is maybe the most important episode that we've done at the Social Distance Show yet. Thank you, and I will see you guys at 8.